From one trader losing $1 million to another making a comeback after blowing up his account with options, we are going to go over the most insane trades of this week. I lost $1,030,220.81 in the stock market. Yes, he's down by 96% or $1,028,534.10, and is left with about $40,000, with his chart being one of the most consistent falling charts I've ever seen. I mean, it doesn't even have that initial free gain that usually hooks people into options. He's held this in long enough. The shame, guilt, lies, pretending to be cool and knowing what the he's talking about. He's been holding this in for years. He's cried and cried and cried. He's fed up with his behavior. It's time to take things into his own hands and change. And yet he's not stopping. He's going to gain this all back the slow and right way. Here is his story. In 2019 he learned about the stock market. Like a reasonable retail investor, he created baskets and diversified his equity investments. In 2020 he learned about options. His first gamble was a meme stock he found on WallStreetBets that rhymes with Pat Beyond, aka Bed Bath & Beyond. That was the start of his entire $1 million loss and life downfall. It felt so good to see those big spikes in gains, but it also felt like the end of the world when it all went to $0. For some reason he always came back. He tasted the forbidden fruit and was addicted. Fast forward 2 years, he needed a source for more trading capital, so he sold his house and car, maxed out credit cards borrowed from the bank and lenders. He even lied to his family and friends to get money and worked odd jobs that were shameful. His wife, who he'd been with for 12 years, left him. They didn't sign a prenup, so there was that whole process, and then she took custody of the kids. Sure, he lost $1,030,220.81, but the worst part of it all is that he lost loved ones, every friend in his life, and every single asset he owned. He cried like a f***ing for days on end, slept on benches, backyards and under bridges. He managed to save up some money and is now living on his own in a 1-bedroom apartment. He knows he can do this. He knows he can make it all back. He's heard stories and seen people do it. He understands all the technical analysis, indicators, price action, gamma exposure, OI, risk-free interest, blah blah. Blah. He knows it all. What made him lose it all wasn't his understanding of the markets. It was his ego, his greed and lack of discipline, his psyche. He spent the last 2 years dedicating himself to mastering every technical aspect of the market. He's met 10-figure retail investors, hedge fund managers and everyone in between. Really dedicated himself to learning the markets. Most importantly, he's made good progress mastering his emotions. He's even gone on months without eating. He needed to model a stimulus that was just as rewarding as gambling. He's here to show that he can gradually get out of this hellhole. He's managed to trade back up to 25k, and in the last week he made 14k with options and futures. He'll get back to $1 million. He's just here to prove to the world and himself that this isn't over. Is it the most hatched low-risk decision? No, the degen surely lives on inside of him, but he's tamed it. Hotbond 321 also blew his account with options, but he never gave up and is still 100% in options. At the very start of his trading journey, his account jumped straight up, but then it quickly fell and slowly bled out until another massive loss. After a short pause, he came back and slowly brought his account up to $50,566 as his by 108% or $45,000. He entered the stock market in January of 2021. The first stock he bought was CCIV, now Lucid with options, and it was the tail end of the SPAC mania. He put in 20k and life was good. He didn't know making money was so easy, waking up and finding thousands of dollars in his account. In 1 month he 4x'd the money. Surely he can do it again. Fast forward, he lost it all all 80k. No risk management, nothing. He took a 6 months break, but he came back 100% on options. This is not an addiction, this is dedication. Honestly, he can't remember what he bought when he returned. He only remembers buying Chinese options when the Hong Kong index went back to 1997 level. He gained lots, but lost more, and he swore to never touch Chinese stocks again. But they became relevant again because of the stimulus. His low point was 7k at the start of 2024, and he managed to 5x it with the AI boom. He's sure no one expected the market to recover late last year. AI carried the entire stock market. He's lucky he was out before the implosion happened on late July to August. He was still down by 20%, but remember, it's 100% options, so it could be much worse. Right now he's 60% in the US stocks, half of that in Tesla for the robotaxi, and 40% in Chinese stocks. What he's learned so far is slow money is faster, fast money is death. Price to gym ratio is the best when things are hyped and uncertain, hence Tesla and Chinese stocks. Don't turn the last dollar, run when everyone is on board. Never concentrate more than 30% in one holding. When you're not certain, buy or sell half of the intended position. You only buy more or leverage more if you're in the green, never the other way around. Looking ahead, he's positioned more in Chinese stocks. He thinks this is the moment he's been waiting for. He can reach Chinese and he finds that English DD doesn't go into the details of the stimulus, particularly $100 billion swap facilities for collaterals, including stocks, which makes even less supply, can only be used to buy stocks. This is their equivalent of QE and their timing is impeccable. They were waiting for Fed to cut rates. They probably also need the stock market to replace their currently dead real estate market. So here are his 3 reasons to buy. Stocks can be used as collateral and be locked up, supply drops, and the money must go into the stock market so demand increases. It's mentioned that there could be more rounds of the same size. They are cheap. Many stocks forward PE is single digit versus high 20s in the US. And here are 3 reasons not to buy. It's Chinese, and it's Chinese. Zurich President Zurich spent 8 years just to make $5. And if you're lucky, learning options will only take you 2 years and half your salary. Looking at his chart, he had a generic first free gain to hook him into options before his account started dropping down. At his lowest point on August the 1st, his account was even worth negative $3,790.53. But with consistent trades, he's been able to make almost $8,000 in the past month. When his account started falling, it was the absolute bottom of the market, and he didn't take profit on gay bear positions as he continues to bleed as a gay bear during this epic run up to new all-time highs. When his account jumped up, he switched to bull and bought contracts right before the Bitcoin run up to new all-time highs, but he didn't take profits, so his account dropped to new all-time lows. During that time, he started to develop a strategy playing weeklies and monthlies on a liquid index, as he ran up on July seasonality. But then he tried to day trade 0-day still expiry options, dropping his account back down. Luckily though, Black Monday saved him, and then he finally realized he has more success assessing week to week. The title should really say 4 years for $5. Remember, the master has failed more than the beginner has tried. No, he doesn't think he's an expert. He's just finally getting the hang of it. Penny stocks got him into really trading the first year. He got lucky with Okugen, that was the peak. He didn't sell when it was all over the news, since he believed every guard made up price targets and had no idea what he was doing. The second and third year he turned into a perma bear, which is masochism. He started dabbling in options and inverse ETFs. Fourth year he finally started getting a hang of it. He became a bull on Bitcoin a little late, but right before the ETF approval. Of course, he didn't sell all his contracts at all-time highs. This summer he really started to understand. Of course, it's not over. Fish Sauce became a millionaire due to his SMCI position. He bought 4,000 shares with about $246,000. Since the purchase, his position went up by 476%, bringing his position value to $1,665,600. Pizza Piñata started a new job today after trying to trade for 6-ish months. In the past year, he lost 99% of his money, or $23,090, and is left with $111.82. Now, to be fair, he started off great, consistently increasing his account until it just started tanking back down. The worst part is that he used his retirement funds to do this and up so badly. He lost his money by trading zero-day expiry options on mega caps. Indeed, it's a painful lesson to learn. To be clear, this was only 10% of his savings, the rest are in a 401k, and he left his gig with another 20k in checking. The plan was simple enough: trade a little when he takes a break from working, enjoy his family and upskill. He got family time, upskill training and a new job, making about 25% more than his last. The loss is just that, a loss and a lesson. He'll be okay regards. Maximally Inclusive is asking himself if he has actually figured something out that works, or did he just get lucky during a bullish year. Year to date, he's up by 63%, or $3,215, with his account being worth a bit more than $8,000. He doesn't YOLO, he's not quite regarded enough for that. He was working a slow shift at Wendy's one day when it hit him. Just buy low, sell high. He's been doing it ever since. Now he's up by 63% on the year, with the help up from Robinhood's 5% interest rate on uninvested cash. He developed some rules for options trading and he stuck to them this whole year, for the most part. This is pretty much all 90 to 120 days till expiry Apple, SOXL, TECL and TQQ calls. He never let an expiration date get closer than say 70 days away. He tried puts a couple of times, but it never worked. Plus, he's an optimist. He doesn't like rooting for something negative to happen. Has he actually figured something out, or is he just riding the wave of a bullish year and he should apply for that assistant manager position after all? Should he consult with his wife's boyfriend too? And if you want to see the most outrageous WallStreetBets trades of October, click on the video just popped up. If you like my content, make sure to subscribe and thanks for watching.